when I went on my book tour for No More Mr. Nice Guy 20-something years ago. I did a lot of interviews, TV, radio, newspaper. A lot of people asked me, Robert, do I see a worldwide men's movement coming? I said, I don't think so, because I don't think there's like one issue that men will rally around, maybe dad's rights or something, but I didn't think that was even a big enough issue to have a revolution of sorts. But I was probably right to one way, but I was wrong. I actually do see a worldwide men's movement. You and I are part of it, actually, right now, what we're doing. But here's what I'm seeing. I see men, almost in droves, going and finding dojos and doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I see men going to 12-step programs and finding a stag group to help them work on their addiction to alcohol or gambling or sex or narcotics. I see men going to their church divorce recovery group while they're going through a breakup. I see men going to pick up boot camps to learn how to pick up women, but in the process, they're going out with 4 or 5 guys as a team, camaraderie, enjoying each other while they learn how to talk to women. And then what I see happening is that you meet a guy at your dojo, your 12-step group, your divorce recovery group, your pickup group, and they say, hey, have you read this book? Have you listened to this podcast? Do you know this coach? Have you heard of that? And now all of a sudden there's this great cross-pollination of men. And what they didn't know consciously was when they went looking to do Brazilian jiu-jitsu or become a gym bro or find a divorce support group or 12-step group or pickup group or a men's consciousness raising group or whatever, what they were looking for was tribe. They knew it in their DNA. It's wired into our cellular nervous system. We need men. And I think men are beginning to cross the threshold in lots of different ways. It may not look like a worldwide men's movement, but I see it because I've got a perspective where I see men like, some guy will go to Brazilian jiu-jitsu, start talking to some guy. They hit it off together. They go out, have a beer, have a coffee, whatever, go out and do plant medicine, whatever, and then they go, have you listened to Huberman Lab? If you listen to Chris Williamson, if you listen to Stephen Bartlett, if you read, No More Mr. Nice Guy, if you read Iron John, and all of a sudden there's this movement, and then they go online and they find men's coaches and podcasts and men's programs and retreats. And I'm going, this is good shit. It's happening. Men are seeking tribe. When I went looking 30 plus years ago, really all I could find was the mythopoetic movement, right, based on, Robert Bly, Michael Meade. And I went out in the woods. I beat a drum. I said ho with the talking stick. And, there were other things. I think the Sterling Weekend already existed. Mankind Project already existed. But this is pretty much really early days of the internet, pre-internet. And so unless somebody word of mouth, your best friend said, hey, man, I did this weekend workshop. You should go with me. Nowadays, these weekends, Mankind Project, so many others, they're out there. They're ubiquitous. They're in every country. And so men are finally getting to have that depth of connection, which is beautiful because most of us have a father wound. Many of us got bullied by older kids when we were young. And, we don't trust men. And so to cross that threshold of opening up, getting vulnerable, trusting men, quit seeking the approval of women, quit going it alone, that's a big transition. And I'm as excited as I can be to see it.
Yeah, man, it is happening. And I see it also from my vantage point. And I resonate and love everything that you just shared here. And what I've found in my connection with men, like one, I didn't even realize how much I needed that until I had. And that resonates so much. And then the depth, the potency, it shortens the gap from when I fall flat on my face and when I pick myself back up again.
100%.
And I think there's, one thing about that I find is like, if you're a heterosexual male, there's no charge there, and so if a man just calls me straight up on my bullshit, I'm not stuck in shame or needing to please or any of these things. So he can call me that and invite me to a higher standard.
Yeah. But if a woman did the same thing, you go, oh, she didn't like me, right, or she's never going to have sex with me. I better make it better. Right. So you're right, because there isn't that charge. I call it, we're not trying to maintain the possibility of availability that we do with all women. Yeah. And you know what? there's nothing feels better than a man who, cares about you, who's working on his own shit, say, wait a minute, take a look at that. And you go, you're right. I did know that. I'm glad you called it out, because I don't like, we'll go down, we'll go take the easy path if it's led to us. And yeah, we need good men in our life to keep us challenging. It feels good. It feels good.
It hits the center of the soul. Yeah, there's this squirmy voice in my head that can find every reason and every justification to sit down and scroll, or to do all the other things that I know are not nurturing me and helping me be the man that I need to be able to step up into my full potential. So
yeah, but if you made a commitment to a group of guys to say, yes, okay, for 30 days, I'm not looking at porn, or for 30 days, I'm not scrolling social media, or for 30 days, I'm getting to the gym. And you've made that commitment, and maybe they're even asking you to check in with them on a daily basis. You're fucking going to show up, and then you're going to get to that 30 days and go, 30 more. Yeah, that felt good. That felt good. Let's go.
You'll invite other people into it too. You start calling other people and, hey, this is what I'm doing. Come on out with me. Let's go to the gym together. Let's go on the hike together. And then where you started getting that accountability, you start being the one that can also lead by example and hold others accountable. And it is a real chain reaction.
Yeah. And another level of that, when I mentioned, like, I do a workshop here every couple months, and Friday night, 3 hours of the weekend workshop, we're just introducing ourselves, but talking about why we're here. Why'd we spend a few $1,000s, take a weekend off, come to Mexico and work with me? And, all it takes is for one guy to open up. I'm going through a painful divorce. I keep saying I'm going to quit porn, but I keep going back to it. I feel like a total loser. I don't want to talk to women, whatever, I can't keep an erection. I come to just one guy revealing himself. And now all of a sudden, every other guy starts just putting it out there. 100%. And then all of a sudden, I tell these guys, you're going to get here Friday night, and you're looking around, you don't know each other. You're going to, who is this guy? We're going to evaluate each other, put each other in a hierarchy. We think, I'm going to like him. I don't like him. I wish he hadn't come. He's a jerk. He reminds me of someone I used to know. I hated that guy. We're going to do that. And we're going to find justification for our internal projections. And I said, and by Sunday afternoon, you guys are going to feel like a bunch of frat brothers that have known each other for 20 years. And they get to Sunday afternoon, they've done the work, they've been revealing, they went out and had fun Saturday night, ate together, got to know each other even better than they did here in this room. Sunday, they've got nicknames for each other. They're joking with each other. They know each other's vulnerabilities. They saw people challenge themselves, have a success, and they're talking about how they can stay connected. And I had a group come here in April that had a group of strangers came the April before, got to know each other, stayed connected, wanted to come back again. I did a workshop 2 weeks ago. 2 of the guys in there met at a workshop 7 years ago and came back to one reached out to the other. So let's go do it again. A guy in another workshop was saying 7 years later, the group from his workshop, they still talk weekly.
Wow.
So when men find that, they just want it, and it just levels up every area of our life. When I got married 8.5 years ago to my present wife, Lupita, I was down here in Mexico. She's Mexican, didn't speak English. We were already having some struggles. She's a jealous Latina. Every time she accused me of something I hadn't done, I'm the self-righteous nice guy. I'm not bad. Don't accuse me of shit I haven't done. That was my covert contract. I'm a good guy. I'm not like all the Mexican macho men. You shouldn't accuse me of doing what they do. But I've done it. And so we were having problems, and I thought, I'm isolated. Another marriage is going to break if I don't. So I joined a men's program. I actually spoke at one of my workshops and said, I need a men's program. A guy in a program said, hey, I'm in this program with this guy who studied with David Data for the last 10 years ago. I'm in. So I did that for 6 years. I'm still going. I'm attending one of their retreats coming up later this month. And at that time, I had maybe 1.5 good guy friends in my life. Now I know I have 30 to 50 men I could call middle of the night. They'd get on an airplane, fly down here, be here for me. They love me that much. They care about me that much. I was in Austin, Texas 3 weeks ago. Monday night, I organized a dinner with a group of guys in a men's entrepreneur group that I just joined. Didn't even know the guys. A couple of guys I did meet in Japan came. So 6 of us went and had dinner Monday night. Wednesday night in Austin, a guy I met at an Integration Nation meetup a year ago who loves my book. Every time I come to Austin, I've been 4 times in the last year or so. He has a dinner party at his house and invites all the men he knows in his men's program. And he's introduced me to so many guys. And so just a dozen guys just having dinner and hanging out. Friday night, men I met in my men's program and other friends I've just made in Austin from my trips there. A body worker I worked with, a videographer. We had a dinner at one of my buddy's house. 15 guys, barbecued, played music, just, shot the shit. So a town I don't even live in. Three nights, I'm out to dinner with 5 to 6 to 12 to 15 men that I did not have in my life 7, 8 years ago. Any of them I didn't have in my life a year ago. So I've just been building my tribe. I think a few months back when I was going to Austin for the 3rd time in 2024, my wife goes, "You sure you don't have a girlfriend in Austin?" I go, "No, I got a lot of guy friends in Austin, and there's a lot of great interviewers there. I always get to do a lot of great in-person interviews in Austin." So, and so my wife she sees me when I get back. She knows I've been with men. She just sees that radiance, that energy, that strength, that king in me that she loves when I've been with men. So yeah, I'm a big fan. Build your tribe. Build your tribe. It may take some work, but good news is it is so much easier to do today than it was 30 years ago.
Amen, man. Yeah, you got me excited. We have a retreat coming up this weekend, so I'm fired up. Yeah, we got 20 guys meeting out in the woods, and we got our own little cabins, and that moment where guys come in deer in the headlights, strangers, and you know what's on the other side because somebody comes in and kicks down the door. And I call that like leading with vulnerability. It becomes the living permission slip that gives every other man in that space the ability to just say, "Oh, fuck, me too. Me too, man."
I call it the secret sauce.
Yeah.
It really connects men because and after all those 20 guys introduce themselves, everybody there will see at least some part of themselves in the majority of the other guys there. And not to know we're not alone. Mm-hmm. We're not terminally unique. We spend so much time in our own heads that we just think everything we think is, normal or our little. Then we find out other guys go, "Oh, you struggle with that too? Oh, your life, even though it looks like it's good, there's actually problems. You're struggling financially, you're burned out, your woman's not treating you well. Yeah, me too. Let's talk. Let's and then once we get that connection built with other men, all those other problems don't seem so big.
Yeah. It doesn't solve them.
Well, it often leads to some solutions. Right. But for example, I found when men come in complaining about their relationship with their partner, often she doesn't want to have enough sex or she's angry all the time or not in a good mood, whatever. I'll say, "What's the rest of your life look like? How's your great cake? I mean, do you have good guy friends? Are you living your purpose? Are you leaning into challenge? Are you getting to the gym regularly? Do you surround yourself with people who love you and want to help you live your best life?" I got work to do. When men go do that other work, all of a sudden, their partner may not have even changed dramatically, but they're not as resentful, frustrated, pissed off.
That's right.
They're going, "Okay, she's got her stuff. She's working on her stuff. Yeah, I'd like more sex, but you know what? We're not so resentful about that not working well because we're taking care of other stuff in the tribe of good